25-year marketing career and accolades as an award-winning public relations expert, his portfolio boasts collaborations with esteemed brands like Big Red Sodas, Alamo Beer Company, Dell Computers, and Adams Extract. Furthermore, he held executive roles in economic development and dedicated 8 years as a board member for the Port of San Antonio, playing a role in its evolution to Port Tech Port. So I'd like to welcome Andrew.
Thank you.
And here's the clicker. And Natalia will get your
Excuse the fonts, but I think I can work it. As long as I have pictures, we'll be okay. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for inviting me to speak. I'm Andrew Anguiano. I started my career as a PR marketing professional for consumer packaged goods in San Antonio. I did economic development for the South San Antonio Chamber of Commerce, which I always say is the north. Did I do something? Sorry. San Antonio is the north side of South Texas, right? So it's north and South Texas. When we were doing economic development, we realized that the South Texas Plains obviously starts in South San Antonio and reaches all the way down to McAllen in South Texas, which is where my wife's from. She's from McAllen. And so there's a lot of similarities in our families and our culture, right? So it was a very, kind of always told me that there was something unique and special about our community from San Antonio down to the valley. My co-founder, Greg, he is a Culinary Institute, New York, Hyde Park chef. He's a maker, he's a brewer, a distiller. You can look at, if you send out this presentation, his information's on the back. He does a lot of work for other companies that are, they hire him to develop flavors, right? So he's doing a project right now for Snoop Dogg, and they're doing some CBD stuff and manufacturing out of Drippy Springs. So Greg and I came from Alamo Brewery. We're both craft beer guys. And one of the things I noticed was that when we were looking at South Texas and San Antonio's economy, we were doing studies and realized, and not realized, or always known, that we were a community of makers. We like to make things. We're very good at food and beverage and cars and things like that, right? And so I realized when I was doing my economic development work that there weren't enough makers in South Texas selling to HEB, who happens to have their headquarters in San Antonio, right? And so when you go into HEB, and just do a simple observation, who's the largest maker of Tex-Mex products at HEB? It's HEB, right? It's all their Mitienda stuff, right? And so then you just do kind of a very basic, kind of like, I wonder why, right? I wonder why there's not enough products being sold into this grocery chain. And so that's kind of where it all started. And so I created this brand with Greg, Texacola. Originally it had South Texas citrus. We were getting citrus from Hardio because it was a citrus cola. And so I sold it to HEB, and I didn't realize that citrus is seasonal, and oranges and lemons. I learned all that, by the way. And then also, after that last freeze, I didn't realize that you can't get any more, all the citrus is gone. So we still use real citrus, but we don't use it from the same source anymore. So it is a real citrus soda. So we created Texacola. So Texacola and Southside Craft Soda is Texican craft soda made by people passionate about our culture and our community. What makes us really different is that we're a couple of craft beer guys making craft soda. So we have a special attention to our flavor profile. And what's happening is, when we created this beverage, HEB picked us up and put us at 180 stores. Our first soda, which was Texacola. So we have 3 flavors. Our Texacola, which is a Mexican cane sugar cola with real citrus, orange, lemon, and lime juice. And so that's, we have a sample of that tonight here. We have our Limoncito, which is real lemon juice, real lime juice, cane sugar sodas, and then our root beer. We have a special process where we turn the mesquite bean, and we extract the flavor from it. So our root beer is the only root beer that has mesquite bean inside our root beer. So everything is related to sort of a Tex-Mex, Texican style soda. The Dallas Morning News, when we released Texacola, asked if we were the next Dr. Pepper. And we have right now, not only are we at 150 HEBs, we service 100 customers between Austin, the Hill Country, and San Antonio. Among them are Lick Ice Creams, which is a chain of ice creams that is based out of Austin. They have 9 locations, including Houston, Bryan, San Antonio, and Austin. Daidu, Chef Jesse Griffith. If you haven't heard of Chef Jesse Griffith, he's in Austin, Texas. He specializes in wild hog. He actually just won a James Beard Award for his cookbook on how to make wild hog. And he uses our soda in his restaurants. They're on Main in Austin. And then Chef Jerry Catoni, he uses our sodas for cooking. So what's happened? In 2022, we switched distributors. So we launched in 19 pandemic, we switched to Katie. So we're now the largest specialty distributor in the country. We have 3 SKUs and 110 stores right now throughout Texas, 50 in Houston, all the central markets in Texas, and a few here in the RGV. These guys really create a lot of stress in our organization, why we're here today, because we haven't been able to keep up with demand, right? That has been a challenge for us. We took over our on-premise distribution. There's some logos, but it's okay. So we serviced 110 customers, and by the way, it went from 58,000 in sales to 94,000 in sales in that year period. And then our on-premise went from 60,000 to 90,000 in that same year period in terms of our sales. So our customers tend to be craft breweries, wineries, distilleries, hotels, tourist spots, anything from really our core audience is in that San Antonio Hill Country and Austin demographic. So we are looking for $450,000 safe note investment to help us get to our inventory point to where then we can then move into profitability and start looking at hitting this benchmark where we can get $2 million in sales. And that's and how we're going to do that is primarily focusing on the San Antonio Austin corridor, which we're already in, which is estimated to be about 6.7 million people in the next 7 years. We're going to move to cans, and I brought some samples of the cans. The market's telling us to go to cans because a lot of places can't use bottles, the glass. So hotels, if you think about anything in San Antonio, touristy, right, Riverwalk, Market Square, you kind of see the cans. Those are. We have Ola Orange that's coming out, and then of course our Limoncito, and then the Texacola. Then we have other opportunities. We own the brand name for Beeville, which is like our Dr. Pepper soda, so we own the trademark for that. And then we have a Fruteria line that we own. This is just, we're focused on these sodas. These are just line extensions that we have just in case. This is the better for you aspect if you're health conscious, if that's something we want to move into. Here's our team. It's myself, have brand experience. Greg, my co-founder, is a brewer founder. He worked at Alamo. Annie was the vice president of operations at Adams Extract, and then our others are part of our team. I'm gonna just kind of show you something real quick in our addendum. So this is something that I look at. We know that there's over 8,000 restaurants and bars in the San Antonio, Austin area. And I kind of look at this as the restaurant model, the bars. This is our current customer list, 101 in San Antonio, 12 in Hill Country, 17 in Austin, and 7. So we do some special deliveries to Houston and those sorts of things at the moment. We don't have any distribution agreements outside of San Antonio, Austin, so we really haven't gone into the bar and restaurant space in Houston or Dallas. So this is kind of where it tells you where we have to be in terms of sales total doors, right? And how we look at whether we can continue to move through Texas at a 20% $29 a case for 24 sell price. So that gives us about a 46 to 50% margin, which is sort of the standard going rate right now in the market. And by the way, customers sell it for $3 to $4 a can or a bottle. Here's the HEBs. We're at 42 in the Houston area, 22 in San Antonio, 18 in Austin, the central markets. So we know that we can, now that we're in HEB, we can probably expand into HEB a little bit further in kind of the doors. And then the other, because we're with KeHE, we have access to all these other grocery stores, but we haven't really pursued them. And then I think the Performa is, and here's, I'm trying to take this all the way to the last. This is the addendum, by the way. I don't want to, so this is kind of, we're a trade up brand. We're not a better for you brand. We want to be, instead of you getting a Fanta orange, we want the Ola orange with the real ingredients to be the option. So it's a trade up brand. So with that, I'm going to go back to there. So that was fast, a lot of information. And I know that we have some of that that you can share with anybody else that wants to see that. That's us in a nutshell.
Right, so you've got 10 minutes of questions
Yes.
and answers, so if anybody has any questions.
I got it.
Sure.
So you've been in HEB for how long?
We've been in there for, so 19 we got in with one SKU.
Okay, let me ask you, let's take the one you've been in the longest.
Yeah.
What have sales done in that store?
Everything, so right now the number is, we have a 51% fill rate right now, meaning that we haven't been able to fulfill 49% of what's been ordered from us. We can't keep up with, and there's a lot of different reasons for that, right? Some of that is we're switching co-packers. The original co-packer was unreliable and didn't allow us to kind of gain the momentum. Second thing was that we were in the friends and family round, and so we did raise about, from 19 to now, we've raised about 500,000, but I'll tell you, there was a pandemic year as a startup, and then the year after that. And so really the statistic here is what I'm looking at when we're like fully loaded, right? Like if we had all our inventory and we were doing sales, what could we possibly do? And so,
Well, I guess bottom line question is HEB telling you that in the stores you're in, we need more?
yeah, it's on the distributor report. They send POs and we can't fulfill the POs. Right.
So the 450 that you're looking for, what would that actually go to? Is it new equipment? Is it-
Inventory would be dedicated towards inventory, and then a ramp to kind of get our sales, because we really don't have on-premise sales reps right now. It's just me and a couple of other people. We're kind of managing, we say that we're being hit with a fire hose, right? Trying to get ahead of what's going on. So it would go into an on-ramp of about 100,000 to kind of get sales reps out in the market, and then build up inventory.
I have a few questions. One of them is, you said it's $29 for 24.
Yeah.
Is it compared with Coca-Cola? How much is that?
So it's a different customer, right? So
Okay.
I would say that Coca-Cola's gone up to about 22, 23, and so they're when you look at like a Mexican Coke, right?
Right.
So our customers are not necessarily in that category. They're mostly in the what I would call the chef-driven restaurants, wineries, distilleries, tourist places, right? Things that are promoting like locally made products.
So my other question is this something that like a bar would mix it with
Yes.
alcoholic
Yes.
beverage or something?
Yeah.
And since you have a citrus, also my other question was, does it have vitamin C in it?
What's that?
Are you putting that it has vitamins in it, vitamin C?
So we haven't had enough of, because that's actually something that we wanna go back. We just do basic labs. We don't go like into in-depth laboratories where we don't really know, but there's probably, and I don't have it on the label, there's probably sugar from fruit that's not on the label, and I really don't have, how much juice is in there, because we have to kind of send that to another laboratory that gives us those things.
My other question is, do you have a diet one too? Or
So-
is it always sugar?
So we do have this line that's in theory it's produced, but that's not kind of what we're focused on. The market asked us for diet versions, but when you're using real citrus and that sort of thing, it's, at this stage, might be a little tricky. You're still trying to build demand.
So you're not really looking at to go national, it's just for Texas, South Texas?
So this is I would say that it's the jump before the jump, right? This is, if we can build a strong San Antonio, Austin market, continue to grow within HEB, that should then give us enough traction to kind of get ready to do the next big ask.
How do you market it? Because I never heard of it. I don't even know if you have it down here.
So the original Texacola L&F distributors, when we first came out, but we were too early. So we learned a lot from that. They were one of the distributors I changed, right? Because HEB had requested that if we could move to KE, because KE is like going to KE is like going to HEB, right? They manage a lot of the traffic. So we went over there. They put us in the store. So we're in stores here, but we're kind of in the I think I saw the map. We're like in 5 HEBs or something. And it's great for mixers. So at the Pearl in San Antonio, they have a bar outside, and they use that for like their lemon lavender cocktails. They charge $10.
Do we have any other questions?
Do you have financials?
Yeah, so we have a pro forma. We've done 200,000 up to date, and I mean, I can send you a P&L.
That would be good. I'd like to see it. Really, a income statement and a balance sheet.
Sure.
But most firms, when they start off, they use a co-packager, et cetera. And that's they don't wind up with any gross margin because the manufacturer makes all the money. So how long are you gonna have to rely on that model? And a year from now, what do you think your gross margin on a case will be?
So right now so there's a couple of things that are affecting the margin. And one of them, and I'm just gonna, so I don't know, I was over at, I have a good friend here, Telecon J3, Jimmy Garza, right? So I was actually over there with him this afternoon, because I was trying to work a deal to get on his trucks, because $3 to $4 of my cases are distribution because of the current model. We can get it down to like $1 with him, right? Which we were kind of going over how we could work together on, because he's also a KE, and his trucks are passing through San Antonio and going by San Antonio. So because I need to cover that cost, because I sell to KE at $24 a case. But I use them for logistics, and they're charging me almost like $3.50 a case to pick up, which is biting into that margin. So if I can move that, and then our co-packing cost is about $4.60 a case. So $4, that's the co-packing. The total unit cost sits at around, I'm gonna say on a good day, it's at $13, on a bad day, it's like $16. So let's just say $15.
So you got about a 40% gross profit margin right now.
Yeah.
So, Andrew,
Yes.
is anything that you have protected, or are the recipes secret?
So we own the trademarks for Limoncito, Texacola, Ola's in being trademark.
Thank you very much.
We own Southside Craft Soda trademark, and then the Fruteria, we own the trademark for Fruteria. So,
Do we have any other questions?
Yeah, I guess I wanted to follow up your question. Is there any secret on the chemistry of it?
Unfortunately, you can actually go to a flavor shop and order, you go to Flavor House and order Coke flavor. right? I mean, there's not really a trademark per se, but what we do have is a distinct flavor that kind of makes our soda as our soda, right? And so what happens is if you change the flavor, then, I mean, customers will tell me, you know, hey, this doesn't taste like the last batch. So it's very difficult to like trademark flavor. The only way we do it, the best way we do it is that when you see like natural flavors, that's how a lot of companies get away with like not telling you everything that's in it, because they hide it in that natural flavors.
Have you had any offers to be purchased or combined forces with any of your competitors?
The closest is my Jimmy conversation today, so, I mean, we had a really great, constructive conversation about, we shared similar, I've known him for about 5 years, right? So we've kind of had similar synergy there, so we're trying to figure something out.
Do you have an exit strategy?
So the exit strategy is, you know, obviously, aside from selling to, yeah, oh, there you go. So, you know, looking at Arca Continental or folks that are within the region to take, to sell to would be the ideal situation. But there's a lot of emerging brands right now, so you're seeing a lot of talk between founders and trying to do some vertical integration wherever possible as the market evolves.
Do they have caffeine in them?
Root beer, no. The lemon, no. The coal is the only one that does.
There was that thing, I don't know if it's this, but Pandera with their lemonade had.
Oh yeah, that crazy.
Yeah.
And crazy
I don't know if
caffeine.
your lemonade could have caffeine in it. Everybody assumes it doesn't, I think.
Right.
And it has as much as a Monster drink.
Yeah, it's they use that green,
Did you see that?
that green caffeine bean. I've never seen that. That's kind of one of those natural caffeine things.
And they put that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Well,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you guys.